So my name is Lieutenant Lyons. We're here at Station 10 in Bowers Hill, Chesapeake. This is Engine 10. I'm gonna give you guys a little tour. I'm gonna show you what each little compartment does and what we're gonna do if we happen to have a fire and stuff like that, or EMS call, okay? So this is the driver. This is where the driver goes, where he has to go and drive the truck. And these little things pop down, come up, cool little drop down step. He comes up here, he pushes all these little funky little buttons up here, cuts the truck on. All our lights come on up here. I have a little flashlight in case he needs to. So the driver has a really big responsibility to make sure we know where we're going, he gets there safely, he follows all the rules and regulations to get us there. But he has a lot of little cool buttons and lights to deal with when he has to drive. When he comes back here, these are our jump seat guys. These guys go in with me when there's a fire. They keep their gear ready to go in case there's a fire, or radios, or extra map books are back here. They have our SCBAs that are back here as well. We put this on our backs when we go into a fire. It has clean air for us to breathe, so we don't have to breathe in all that nasty smoke. We're going to accidents, we make sure we're seen by cars. We just have a little reflective vest on here so that we make sure that we're seen so people don't accidentally hit us or slow down, and make sure that everybody stays safe. This area right here is where we have all our hose, where we usually get the fire. We get to the fire with our hose from the truck. They're all different colors. There's green, there's yellow, and there's orange. There's number 1, number 2, and number 3. It's even color coded. They have green, yellow, and orange. And it's sort of the same thing here. There's green, yellow, and orange. So the driver knows exactly which lever to pull to put what water in what hose. So it's called firefighter proof. It makes sure we have color coded what hose goes in what water. So when we have a hydrant, a fire hydrant you guys see on the side of the street, this is where we connect the hose from that hydrant to here. It basically puts water into our tank, and then we actually have a pump that blows pressure and it puts it out on this hose. So water comes in and water goes right back out. We have all the little cool little utensils here, different like 2.5 female, double male, and other connections here. Road flares, especially at night. So we have a couple little toolboxes down here. You never know what you need for different little scenarios you have for pumping. Here's the cool little stock compartment. When we have fires, we have extra bottles we can switch out into our cylinders. So we have extra ones on there, as well as the other ladder companies and rescues that have ones that can fill our bottles up. This is where we keep our tools. We have all our axes, and this is called a Halligan. It's a universal tool for pretty much anything to get into a door or anything like that. This is a little cool little secret compartment back here. It has even more tools hanging up. This is called a closet pike pole, bolt cutters, a sledgehammer, cool little things we can help to get in and out of doors or windows and stuff like that. Same thing back here. We have our cones for accidents to make sure everybody slows down so we all stay safe. Our chainsaw to help in case we need to cut anything. This is all chainsaw oil and stuff and fuel. These are called short sections. Like, this is the hose we help with the hydrant. We connect it here to a hydrant as well into our truck. These are the short sections because sometimes you might have a lot more hose to go to. You have to have 100-foot sections. There is shorter, so to have a whole other 100-foot section, you have a short section to go to the engine. We also have our extinguisher. We also, it's called a water can. All this has in here is water and compressed air. And this is like a dry chemical we have at everybody's houses, but this is like a water can. All it has is water and compressed air to help put out little small fires. And coming around the back, here's where we keep all of our hose for supplying a lot of water. That's what we connect to the hydrants, and we wrap it around the hydrant and we go forward and we lay it down the road, and when we're done, we take the rest of it out and connect to the side of the truck. This is more hose, a little bit smaller. It's a 2.5-inch hose. This is for a really big fire. It's called a 2.5-inch pre-connect. So there's a lot of fire, you put a lot of water and a lot of fire. So we use this one for the really big fires. And these little cool compartments back here are ladders. So we need to get to a roof or any access like that. We have some different types of ladders to actually go into. Back here, we have our fans to help if there's smoke inside of a house, somebody burns up some food, or if they need to help with ventilation to get the air, all that dirty air out. We'll set this up at the front door and actually push all that bad air out. These are just really cool flashlights. And this is called a Hydra Bag. We chop this off at a hydrant and has all the cool tools that connect to the hydrant. Right here, this actually spins onto the hydrant like this, and then we connect our hose to this side. So it's a pretty smooth transition. A couple other things, this actually opens the hydrant. This cool little thing can change sizes no matter what type of hydrant you have or what size you have. All right. This is just a little access point where the ladder drops down and get to the top in case you need to get something out of there. And this is a couple other cool things. We have a water rescue buoy in case somebody's in the water and needs rescuing. These are some ropes that we throw in case people are in the water and need help getting out. These are our life jackets. This is what's called, I call it a Robert Hall pack, but all this is garden lay. It has different sections of hose so you can get water and hose up to like a two-story apartment building or a hotel. This is a cool little thing. This is sort of new. This thing actually floats in the water. We use this if we need to get water out of a lake or a pond. We'll connect hose here, and we'll throw this connected to a line into the water, and this actually will float. So it doesn't get on the bottom, and the water will come in the bottom here through a strainer, and we can get water instead of a hydrant. So that's a little different because you have to worry about leaves and fish and stuff like that. So there's a little strainer in there to keep all that stuff from going into the engine. Of course, a water cooler, because it gets hot outside and we want some water if we have a fire. Those are all more of our cylinders for backup in case we need some more air. Here's another cool little compartment. It has a Hydra Bag, which happens to put out for every fire in case something goes bad, the firefighter goes down, or gets hurt. This bag has everything you possibly need to get him out, him or her out. This is a fire blanket. If you have an accident, to help protect them or we're getting them out, we'll throw this over top of them so they don't get glass and stuff like that. They don't get cut. We'll throw this over top of them. Just more rope. This is called a Tnt Tool. It's like a universal tool that I like to use. It's good to get in and out of doors. Salvage covers. We try to protect people's stuff in their house, whether it be their prized possessions or whatever like that, so water damage won't actually affect it. We put this on top to make sure everything's okay. This is our EMS compartment. This is my gear as well. EMS compartment for all the EMS calls. We have our little machine here that does blood pressures. It reads heart rhythms. This is our airway bag in case somebody's having problems breathing and stuff like that. Our medical bag in case somebody has problems with their sugars, or a trauma bag. They have a couple of, they have problems bleeding and banding and stuff like that. This is where we keep our jug and IV boxes to help people who really need a lot of help with like medications and stuff like that. This is a temperature controlled environment because medications need to be kept at a constant temperature. They can't get too hot or too cold. And the same thing on this side. Is this is another side, how to connect our hydrant to our truck. Another section, because you never know what side of the house the fire is going to be on. You got to be able to access both sides for a hose line. So one's on one side, one's on another side. Another side of the jump seat has the same thing. We have our SCBAs to breathe into. He has his gear here ready to go. It's a pretty tall cab, so he's able to stand up if he has to, but not while we're moving. And this is where I sit. This is the officer's seat. I get the cool little iPad here that tells me exactly where to go, the address, the comments, everything on there. Also has our EPCR program. If we need to do patient care and documentation and stuff like that, that's all on here. All of our apps are for pediatric calls are on here. Directions, everything's on here. It's a really like an all-in-one tablet there to help us get to and from the call and do our jobs. This is called our passports, accountability. So basically, the time there's a fire, our battalion chief will grab everybody's icons. He puts them on a board. He knows exactly who's on what position they're on, and then what they're doing. Alpha would be me. The A, the B would be the jump seat Bravo, and the D would be the driver. He'd be over here. He's the one driving. So he knows exactly who's driving and who's in charge and who's in the jump seat. So he has accountability of where everybody goes. And then the front, when you hear the siren that's going down the road, it's this thing rotating around. It's making that noise. I have a little button inside, and this thing just rolls around and makes that really loud screaming sound that comes out of that. And then this is just like all the booster lines for like any grass fires or brush fires. It's retractable. You can pull it out and stuff like that. It puts water out of the truck onto here. And then you can just push a button and it goes right back in. So, and then this is just a normal, sort of like what we have on the side. We call it a trash line, but it's for like car fires and stuff like that. The concept behind the front bumpers, because there's cars moving on both sides of us. We don't want to pull all over a hose and then somebody accidentally hit us. Here it's safer to deploy a hose line from the bumper and just go straight out versus trying to get a hose off of there. So this is just It's easier for car fires and something that's in front of you, especially if you're on a highway, to deploy this versus the one on the side there. So that's about it. I hope you all enjoyed it. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see everybody soon.